All right, we're back. I had dinner, took a little bit of a break, now I'm back at it again, and I left my glue stick undone. Okay, it's all right, not a big deal. So sometimes when things don't turn out with glue stick, you need to use a stapler, which is okay because in my case, I'm going to cover it up with paper anyway, and later on with a faux stone effect, I think. I'm not entirely positive yet, but I don't put lights in my houses or in my miniatures. I haven't done it so far. It doesn't mean I don't want to do it eventually. But this is one way you can do it while hiding the controls, if you will. So depending on where you want to put your light, of course, but you need to have a place to put the battery pack. So I'm building a foundation anyway for this piece because I want to be able to put a porch on it. So basically what I've done is done a 1-inch strip in several different lengths in order to make this little foundation piece. And this is where you can hide your battery pack and stuff like that. So this is a good way of doing it. The glue wasn't holding for some weird reason, so I stapled it. Good old trusty stapler. And you can use your small stapler or whatever works for you. You can even use a hot glue gun if that's what you want to use, but I figure staples, and I don't have to worry about plugging in my hot glue gun. Even better. Bonus. Okay. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm going to cover this one up. Again, if you don't enjoy these kinds of videos, by all means, you don't have to watch them. All I'm going to do at this point is cover this up because I want to create, again, a sturdier base because this is fairly flimsy. It is corrugated, but it is a very fine corrugated cardboard. So it has a very fine loop in there. So it's not very strong. It's very easy to bend. So if you want to do like circular, like curved shapes, rather, you could easily do it with that, no problem. But that is not what I am about today. So I figure I'd create this and show you how I would do it. And if that's interesting enough to watch, by all means, join me. Okay, there we go. Good old glue stick. So again, I want to make this as strong as I possibly can. I could have made this out of popsicle sticks or, you know, tongue depressors or whatever, but I figure I'm on the cardboard and paper kick right now, so that's what I'm going to use. So in case you don't have popsicle sticks, you know, you could use this instead. It's not a big deal. So I'm trying to think of what would be useful information at this stage. So for glue, I haven't used a hot glue gun so far, only because I don't have a very precise tip on my hot glue gun, and it would be a little bit aggravating to use in areas where it would be difficult to reach, especially inside the miniature. So these staples are going to get covered up anyway, so it's not that big a deal. You could do this obviously with much sturdier cardboard instead of this flimsy looking thing, but it's okay. We work with what we have. I had it pulled out from my stash, so I just wanted to use it. And I'm stubborn that way sometimes. Sometimes, you know, I have stuff on my desk, and then I have to, in my mind, I have to use it. I'm just, you know, it's like, okay, no, I have it out, I'm going to use it, that's it. And I try to find a way to use it. Very rarely will I give up. There are times when I do, but it's rare. So I will use it one way or another. Even if it's just like a foundation piece, I will put something else over top of it because I want to be able to use everything that I have. That's the goal anyway. So if you do not have popsicle sticks or tongue depressors or whatnot else, and or you know, you ran out or whatever, what are you going to do? I mean, sure, you can run out two the Dollar Tree or dollar store or whatever else. Or you can raid your freezer for some popsicles and eat those really quickly and then use them. You know, you do you. I've done it before. But it's, you know, there are other things you can use. If you wanted to, you could make it more of a rustic cottage, and you could use like branches from outside and things like that. So there's all different kinds of materials for you to use, which is part of the fun. Just check around your house, see what you have. I have this one decor piece in our house that has all these branches in it from the dollar store that I made a long time ago. And I use that sometimes in some of my miniatures for, you know, wood pieces and stuff like that. So anyway, I was talking about glue, wasn't I? Yeah, I got sidetracked. So glue, hot glue, I don't really want to use hot glue. Hot glue has a tendency to want to let go over time for some odd reason. I don't understand it, but it does. And maybe it depends on what kind of glue you use, which is probably my case. I probably use the wrong glue. I'm cheap, so I use whatever is available at the dollar store. So I'm sure there's like Gorilla Hot Glue and all kinds of stuff. But glue stick is my best friend in the craft room. I just buy these Jot ones, inexpensive, at Dollar Tree, and I am perfectly happy using these. So, and then it is about whatever you prefer, really. But when I put my walls and other things in place, I have been using not wood glue, not even PVA glue. Maybe that's part of the problem, because this glue is quite expensive. I've been using glossy accents. I know. I've had a few bottles in my stash for a while now, and I haven't been using it for anything else. So I started out using it for easy access, because my old glue bottle had very dried up kind of glue, so it was a lot thicker, which was perfect for smaller spaces so that it would dry a lot quicker. But this is so runny, I don't know, it doesn't work as well. I might switch to PVA. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So we'll figure it out. So again, excuse me. See, my voice is disappearing again. Too much talking. Use what glue you have on hand. If you prefer using hot glue, go for it. I might use it for certain things. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, I've been using glossy accents to adhere a lot of these more, because I can use the tip quite easily for precision gluing, which comes in handy. So. I don't really have a precise method for doing this, as you may have noticed. But it is, you know, it achieves the job, achieves the goal. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. It gets to where I need to be, so it's fine. So a lot of these foundations and a lot of these miniatures, when I see other artists do them, I see them making things out of a specific kind of foam, which I have not had any workings with yet, so I don't know how I feel about it. I have no opinion either way. But it could be fun. I don't see why not. You never know. So you gotta try different things, right? I mean, this is what I have on hand. So instead of spending more money and going out and buying specialty things, I'm using what I have on hand. And I have tons of cardboard, so that is the main product I'm using. Now we'll strengthen these corners up. What you can do is you can put like some cross braces in here if you wanted to make it sturdier. But I'm going to be gluing it onto my cottage itself, onto the main structure, so I'm not too concerned about that yet. Now if you were to put a light in there, you might have to put an extra piece in there just to hold the light switch in place, so maybe. So that would be something to look into. I will be fixing all that up. So normally I would be watching TV or something right now, but I feel like doing this, and I figure I'd take you along instead of watching TV. You're welcome. You get to enjoy my company instead. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to watch TV, depending on what I'm watching. I want to stretch out the series or something like that because I want to enjoy it a little bit longer. So I'll try not to binge watch it. Let's see what I have binge watched lately. I don't know about you, but I mean, some shows are better than others. But there have been some good ones. Wheel of Time on Prime. I enjoyed that. I haven't started the second season yet, so I'm not entirely sure at this point anyway. So I'm not sure when I want to do that because the whole season is not out yet. So it only has like 4 episodes or something like that at this time. So I want to wait until all of it is out. I don't know. That's just how I am. I read all the books, so I'm really enjoying the TV series. It's actually really close to the books. I'm impressed. I was kind of worried they were going to mess around with it too much, but no, it's not bad. What else have I been watching for series? Justified was good. I enjoyed that. It's got a new season out, so that'll be interesting. I can't wait to watch that. What else? Lots of movies. So I like foreign films. It's just one of my favorite things to watch. Especially kung fu movies and things like that. I don't know. It reminds me of my childhood. We couldn't afford a VCR as a kid, so we'd always rent the VCR from not Blockbuster, it was something else, some other video store at the time. And we'd rent the VCR, and we'd rent all the kung fu movies because they were the cheapest to rent. And that's what we watched. So it's very nostalgic for me. It's one of those fun things that it reminds me of my childhood. So every now and then you get a hankering, you know, which is okay. It's a lot of fun. And all the, what was it, 80s movies, they were out there for a bit, so I watched some of those. That was fun. So here, I could snip it. Maybe I'll just snip that. Again, it's all about strengthening this because it is pretty flimsy. It will get painted, so it's not the end of the world. So yeah, so one of the reasons why I wanted to do the base, hopefully eventually I would like to be able to do lights and stuff like that. But this one's going to have a porch. I know. I think I'm a little ambitious with this one, but I figure a porch would be fun to create. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. It might not happen, but I do want to do like front steps and stuff like that. But we'll see. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, things look better inside your head than they do in real life. So we shall see. I could just go like this and it'd be easier instead of having to snip. Need some more. I just want to be able to get these corners strengthened. It's pretty flimsy, so I'm not so sure if this is the best cardboard to use. So I'll just get that in there. I mean, once the glue dries, it'll be fine. It's still a bit damp right now, so it's going to take it a little bit to dry. And that's the other tip I have for you. Wait for your glue to dry, because then it'll be better to paint. Because once you put your wash on, it could potentially create problems for your paper underneath if it's too wet. So then the glue won't dry in time for you to be able to make it nice and sturdy. So that could be an issue. Just a little heads up for you. And nobody said these pieces all have to be one big piece. Yeah, just slice them up. Slice them and dice them. Just do the best you can. So it's not bad. It's fairly sturdy. Here it's pretty weak because it's really bent here. So I'm going to try and reinforce it with a little bit more paper. So now the question for me is, do I want to paint all these pieces separately first and then attach, because that's how I've done it in the past? Or do I want to just attach the whole structure together and then paint? There's a dilemma, people. I'm telling you, it always creates more problems sometimes. It's one of those things you just don't think about until you're in the moment. And then you realize, oh, now what do I do? So indecision can be very debilitating at times like this, because then you won't move forward, right? That's how I think about it anyway. Let's see, I just want to make sure I have all my corners sort of, you know, nice and sturdy. It's not bad. I mean, once the weight of everything on there is on there, it'll be sturdier. So, okay. It's not too shabby, so, you know, that's not too bad. So I'll show it to you from the bottom so that you can see a little bit better. So when you attach it, you would glue it on. I mean, there's a little bit of gapping, but that's okay because a lot of this will be covered up with paint and whatnot else. And I would hold it down, like I would put a little bit of weight on it in order to make sure that it adhered properly. So, again, use your glue that you are most comfortable with, that you know will work for you. All right, so again, my dilemma is the window. Do I want it up higher or do I want it down lower? I don't know. I think I've done it both ways before and I'm not entirely sure. So again, I still want to put a fireplace in there, so I might just keep it off to one side kind of thing. Yeah. Alrighty. I'm going to glue this down. Either way, it's got to be on there, right? So it's not entirely flat. Not that it really matters. Again, I just want to make sure it's on there. So I will glue Let's see if I can get this open. Will it come out? Nope. Okay. I love that magnet on there. One of the best things I ever did. Alright, so I'm just going to glue this. And yeah, it gets a little bit messy. It's okay. I'm somewhat generous. I don't mind if some of it leaks out. Again, it's kind of an expensive glue. You could use super glue. You could use white glue. Aleene's tacky glue. Use your favorite. Pay attention to the corners. Alright. And then sort of center it. Make sure the gaps are more or less the same all the way around. And then keep it as straight as you possibly can while you're weighing it down a bit. Some of it you can hide with, you know, some greenery or whatever. It'll be okay. So if it's a little bit off, it's not a big deal. It's something that you can fix with, you know, some strategically placed plants or window boxes or, you know, flower beds, whatever, depending on how much you are willing to put into the project. So while we're waiting for this to more or less, you know, grab a hold, some tools you could probably get. Not only clamps, but different kinds of clamps like they have in wood shop. Those ones with the sliding clamp. That would come in handy for this kind of thing because my regular little clamps won't reach this at all. So and sometimes, you know, it could look a little crooked. It's okay. I'm going to try and put, like I said, a little porch around this. So I just need the height. So even if you put some wood skirting around the outside edges, it's not a big deal. It'll be painted first of all. I just want to make sure that it adheres nicely. Now, this is where a weight would come in nice and handy. Hold on. So, if you have some jewelry tools or some heavy blocks or whatever, this is one of my dapping tools. I'm just going to lay that right in there, and that'll help weigh it down and adhere that nicely. It won't take too long. I just want to make sure there's no gaps in behind. Actually pretty good. It's decent. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Alright. So now, well, we are in the mood to attach things. I don't know if I want to keep that on the outside. I still want to put an overhang on here, but I don't think it'll need the extra. Yeah, I think I'll keep it open all the way in the back, and then the front is going to be all cottage. You know what I mean? Business in the front, party in the back kind of thing. That's what I'm going to do, I think. So yeah, I think this time around I'm just going to assemble first and then we will paint after. I'm going to keep that weighted down just for a little bit longer. So I think this is the way. No, that is not the way. This is the way. Yeah. So again, as long as it's more or less even, it should be okay. Some of it can be disguised with the stonework that's going to go on there. So it'll be okay. So again, glue. Pick whichever one works for you. This has not let me down yet. I'm sure Fabrifix would work the same way. way to the end. There we go. I sort of let that drip a little bit, and then I can see where it all is. And I want to make sure it's more or less even with the front. The back I'm not overly concerned with. I want to make sure the sides are nice and flush. You can sort of fudge the interior a bit, but well, even the exterior, depending on what you put on the outside. You can hide the seams with the stones and stuff. You could use real stones. They sell like tiny little river rocks and stuff like that at the dollar store. So you could, it does get sticky, so you gotta be careful. Don't glue your hands to your project. And you just want to make sure it lines up. And I'm just gonna hold it in place for just you know, half a minute or so, hopefully not too long. And then the same over on this side. You still have a little bit of wiggle room. Oops, maybe a little bit too much. There we go. So as long as you pay attention. All right, let's take that out of there. And I can see some gaping in the front here. So what I could do is I could put a little bit more glue in there. Actually, that's worked in the past. I just want to make sure it stays more or less in place. I just need a toothpick. There we go. I want to make sure it's right in there. Again, it's going to get painted, so it's not a big deal. And if you use a hot glue gun, it sets a little bit too quickly, so you have to be careful. You could just push this part up and then push this one in and down. There we go, just to hold that in place. Any gaping that happens, you can cover up with dowels, any kind of wood trim or whatever. A lot of it you can just hide with paint, especially if you have glue in there. It won't be that big a deal. So I just want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. It's going to be kind of a tall cottage, but don't forget, I'm going to put a side piece on here, and then here's my window. So it has been decided. And I want to put a fireplace over here, so that ought to be interesting. I've never done a chimney. Oh, yikes. I don't know if I want to do a chimney. And I gotta do the roof yet. Alrighty, wow. That'll be the next step, won't it? Alright. So, that's part of it. So, a good base for, you know, if you want to build a porch, or a wraparound, or front steps, or hide your lights if you choose to put lights in there. And then you just have to make sure you put some holes in your structure in the back, depending on where your light is going to be. I'm not brave enough to do lights yet, so I'm leaving mine as is. I might, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I'll figure it out as I go. Anyway, for now, this is how we're gonna do it, how I am going to do it, and then I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully I'll have the roof and some side chimney and a little overhang over here. Maybe some faux windows at the top. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, so there we have a little bit more of the structure. So, alright guys. There, I'll leave it like that so you can see. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.